Hello and welcome everybody. I am so excited to introduce you today to my guest and beautiful friend, Amanda Jane Clarkson. G'day, Amanda.
G'day, Janet, and I'm really looking forward to our conversation today, and welcome for those who are listening.
So Amanda and we go back a long way, don't we?
Do.
Yeah. So
2007, I met you.
Sorry?
2007, I remember the date.
Wow. Oh, there you go. That must have made an impact. Well, you were one of the very first people who I interviewed when I started Wonderful Web Women way back then. And I was finding women who had created success online. And back then it was hard to find women who had a public profile. And you were also one of the very, very few women who was presenting on stage at that time as well, especially back then when there were a lot of events that were multi-speaker events. They were just basically testosterone fest. So when I met Amanda, who this gorgeous Barbie looking woman who, when she opens her mouth, is so real and just says what she thinks. And I just thought, man, I like this chick. So we've been in each other's kind of universe, for all those years, but we haven't connected for a while. So since then, you've opened up Millionaires
Magazine.
Millionaires Magazine.
All good. It's all good.
So we're going to talk today about mindset stuff, because honestly, if there is anybody who walks her talk and will tell it to you in the most beautiful, non-fluffy way, it's Amanda. So before we do that, can you just tell us a little bit about Millionaires Magazine so people understand, a little bit about your story, like who you're serving through there and what's made you start Millionaires Magazine?
Well, it's a great question. I should probably say, well, how long have we got? Because I've started 14 businesses, but I will jump forward. Many different types of businesses, many fields, although I know my purpose is to always serve people. I love teaching and I love showing other people how to become successful on their terms based on my own experience, not stuff I've read, stuff I've actually done. And for many years, as you said, I met you when I was on stage speaking about wealth creation on the internet, mainly eBay back in those days when I was manufacturing and importing products from China. Immense success, then started teaching other people all around the world about what we do. And I had media behind me, which really elevated our message, elevated our profile, elevated our success in an incredible way. And so many years I've been speaking on stage now since 2007, and then had a bit of a break in 2017, thinking that I might retire, which lasted 3 weeks. It is so overrated. Oh my God. I mean, look at me. I don't even look like I'm ready to retire. No, I don't want to break a nail in the garden. No. To be honest, I just had this truly empty feeling inside of me that I was missing serving people. I wanted to keep getting out there, making an impact in the world, helping people overcome their own stuff to become successful, because I'd had to go through it myself. Invested years and years in mentors and overcoming my own fears, my own doubts, my own perceived failures, which were really just lessons, figuring it all out. And I decided to get back in, and I wrote a book, which I'll talk about later. And then the magazine came about when I met up with my now business partner, Robin Gipters, who has a media background. And we just said, how do we keep elevating women? How do we help women overcome their fears, their doubts, elevate their self-worth, their net worth, and their life worth? And it just started a magazine that's gone global, where I get to have incredible conversations with women like yourself and global leaders all around the world, sharing their wisdom, their inspiration, their stories, and their message to truly help every woman out there. And I say guys as well, because we're all the same, but I just focus on women, that a dream that you have within you, is absolutely possible. No matter what anybody else says, no matter what anybody else thinks, and any hurdle you need to overcome, and there'll be many of them, with the right help, the right understanding and structure, you can have that success. And that's kind of how Millionaires magazine was born. And now it's a monthly magazine, and it's truly growing leagues of its own. It's growing faster than we'd ever hoped. Because you know what I'm noticing, Janet? More people, more women like you, like me, like all these other women behind me on my bookcase here, we just want to help other women. I think times are changing. You mentioned before that it used to be a stage full of testosterone, guys only.
Yeah.
Women have come into their own. Women sharing a global stage, sharing their message and co-creating instead of going against each other. Instead of seeing it climbing that corporate ladder and pulling other people down, we see not competition, but co-creation. And that's what we're all about. That's what drives me. I love being in this space because there is enough for all of us.
Yeah.
Waiting for you, any one of you, if you just have the right mentors, the right structure, you have follow a formula that works. And above everything, which I'd like to talk about with you today, the community, the right people who believe in you when sometimes you just don't believe in yourself.
Oh, yeah. So important. And you know what? You said one thing there about, men and women were all the same, but absolutely. But you know what I really noticed when I started Wonderful Women, and one thing that you picked up there was women do tend to naturally, when they're not feeling threatened, like when they're not put into that position of where, you know what, I've got to compete, I've got to defend myself. When we're actually in that environment of, someone's got my back, I'm safe here, women naturally collaborate.
Yes.
That women do naturally tend to work in terms of, it's the same classic thing of, oh my God, I've got the necklace that would just go perfect with your outfit, borrow it. Yes. That's sort of a silly, it might seem a silly example, but it does work out the same way that the women naturally work, which is, oh, look, I know somebody who you can do, or we could do something together. So not saying that men don't work in that way, but it is one thing that I did notice, and that you've obviously really picked up, and tapped into with what you're doing, is that drive to want to do things, to collaborate, to want to share. And it makes perfectly good sense that this is where you've evolved to, even though when I met you, you were, working, your thing was eBay.
Yes.
Is even back then, one of the reasons why I think we connected is you couldn't help yourself but mentor. You couldn't help yourself but saying, you've got this girlfriend. Oh, you're doing so well. Oh, that's great. What can I do to help you? It was just naturally your style. So it makes perfectly good sense that this is what you're doing now. So I'm excited. So let's dive in to, you were talking about stinking thinking. And this, for me, one of the reasons why I wanted Amanda to join us today, one apart from, I just want to introduce you to Amanda, because she's just gorgeous.
I'm so glad we're connected.
Yeah, me too. But the other one is, we're in a moment now where there is change, and I've really noticed amongst my own clients, I've noticed myself wavering from day to day when it comes to two ways to reacting to all of the change that we've got. And, we've been in this sort of COVID thing now for, is it 6 months or more now? So
I think even longer than that.
It might even be longer. Like, we're talking,
we're 8 months in now, heading into our 9th in November.
Yeah, you're right. So it's been past the point of, oh, look, this will be over in a few minutes, to, whoa, okay, there's going to be some permanent changes that come from this. And then when I was saying things I've noticed in clients and in myself, some have just gone, whoa, holy shit, Batman, I'm going to, let me bunker down and I will come out of my shell when it looks like it's safe. Other people have just gone, you know what, bring it on. I'm ready for change. I'm going to make it. And myself, I'm totally honest. My very first reaction when this happened was, bring it on, baby, and I am going to help nobody's going down on my watch. But then as it's got longer, there's been, oh, Okay. You know, there'll be those days or weeks where you just go, oh, I'm just, you know, over it or whatever. So keeping that mindset takes like a structure that you talked about. So that's why I really wanted Amanda here, because she's got really good structure as well as walking the talk. So over to you, baby. Sock it to us.
You're such a good interviewer. So do you want me to talk about mindset around stinking thinking and what the COVID has brought out and how to stay focused, or where would you like me to begin on?
Well, I think the thing that I know that people have got now is we've got this reality now that we've got this situation, but, you know, things are unstable at the moment.
Yeah.
And so it's going to bring up, if you've got any kind of mindset issues, this is going to bring it up. So the way that you can advise people to really keep your mindset, so keeping that mindset strong so that you can not just survive this, and without sounding like a cliche, not just to survive, but thrive, but, you know, how to really come out of this stronger.
I think now more than ever it is a critical time in history. We ain't ever going back to what we perceive as normal. And I really believe that, not just to sound cliche either, but there is a lot of opportunity. However, it is going to take inner strength and being able, because I think that so many people are struggling at the moment mentally and emotionally with the turmoil that they're feeling around the world. And this is the time in history where you've really got to work harder on yourself than anything else. Like an athlete conditions their mind and their body to become an Olympic gold medalist. They're not just swimming in the pool. They're working on their mindset day in, day out, because we need to be strong, because there's so much noise, so many voices, so many opinions, and to be able to block it out and, what I say, get those horse blinkers on, it's not easy. And so for myself and the people that I mentor throughout this whole year, I've really helped them stay on focus with what they're actually trying to achieve. Now, when it comes to business, I don't know a single business that hasn't had to pivot or change their thinking or restructure or ask themselves some questions. Wow, what does this mean for now and into the future? For myself, for instance, I've had to pivot like you wouldn't believe. And I can say that without a strong mindset, because there's only 3 things we can control. I want you to write this down if you're listening to it. Our perceptions of what's going on, which are our beliefs, so perceptions, our decisions, and our actions. So if you're a product of just following the herd, it's no surprise that you'd be a mess right now, feeling like, oh my God, I've got no control in my life. You know, the world's gone crazy, everything's gone mad. But if you control your thoughts or your beliefs and control your own universe by saying, what's true for me? What am I focused on? Can I fix anything out there, or can I just keep on focus, keep pivoting, keep figuring out how I can solve problems for myself and my customers? Then you have more control over your life and your destiny. And of course, then you don't feel so manic or anxious or depressed. It's just how you see the world. And of course, business pivoting, we've pivoted nonstop. And I'd like to share just a couple of things that have come out of that from my experience. Is that gone are the days where you can do things by yourself. Because I used to be one of these women, look, I'll just do it myself. I'll get it done. No one can do a better job than me. I've got this. I'm going to get to the top of my success mountain by myself, just like a triathlete. Because when you're a triathlete, it is a race against yourself. What I believe has changed definitely for myself, going through this whole year, is that I've needed to attract other athletes to work in a team environment, to help us pivot, to help us solve different problems in our company and for other people that we want to serve. And that's what we focused on, Janet. Well, I don't focus on the stuff that's happening in the world that I cannot control.
Yeah.
I work on myself and say, Amanda, what can you control? What are you focusing on? And then I am very, very structured in my priorities. That's what I truly focus on every day. And it keeps my mind from going crazy with stuff that's really not my business. Now, I don't mean to sound like I don't care, because I do care very, very deeply. However, there's only a certain amount of things that I can control as an individual.
Yeah.
And right now, I'm focused on controlling my mindset, my emotions, my state of being, because otherwise it breaks down your health, right? It breaks down your vital organs. We start to go into anxiety, depression, all these problems because we allow our mind to be taken over by stuff that we cannot control. So that's the beginning.
Oh,
I hope this is making sense.
Look, there's 2 points that I want to follow up that you just said there. The first one, though, is like what you've taught there are people to learn how to do. And the thing that I discovered was I used to, with my first business, which was an art gallery, an online art gallery, I used to get like really sort of consumed with everything that was around it, consumed about, you know, ridiculous stuff like, you know, on the web page, which two images really looks best side by side, you know, when I've got all the photos, and then all these sorts of things that make no difference when you're talking about the priorities and all the other things that were also outside my control of, you know, really ridiculous. I got really sick, like life-threateningly sick.
Wow.
So when you talk about that, it was like, whoa, something has got to change here. And it was only the mindset stuff that got me out of that illness. Yeah. So when you were saying about it will break your body down, I'm standing here, and actually I'm sitting here telling you, you are spot on. Like the consequences are very, very real. Mm-hmm. So that skill to be able to go, can I do anything about this? No. Well, forget it. Just move on. Like you can't think about that anymore. It's such really, like you can't underestimate how important that is.
I know it's easier said than done, but here's what I do they say, oh, that sounds easy for you, but here my life is in a turmoil. You know, my business is going down the drain, or my health's not in a good space. Well, we start with one step at a time. I know it's easier said than done, but we've got to start somewhere, and we need to, as individuals, take responsibility, because nobody, and I mean nobody, cares about you, your health, your success, your life as much as you care. And so it all begins with us, doesn't it? So every single night, what I do to keep control of my mind from going crazy, from wandering off to things that are just irrelevant, things I cannot control, or need to control, by the way, is I go to bed every single night with my top 3 priorities for the next day written out in my diary.
Right.
Never do I go to sleep. Because why do I do that? Because every morning when I wake up, instead of wanting to pull that doona up over my face, can't face the world, doom and gloom, I never, ever turn my phone on. I do not look at a computer. I certainly don't look at the TV. I don't ask anyone's opinion of how the world is going. I ask myself, I do my gratefuls while I'm laying in bed thinking, well, let me count my gratitudes. What am I grateful for? I'm grateful that I've woken up with great health. I'm grateful that I have woken up being able to live my purpose. I'm grateful that I have woken up in a warm bed and I'm safe. All these things, I just go through my gratitudes every morning. But then, Janet, I know that my mind's not cluttered because I think I know the exact 3 intentions for my day, and I will not be pulled off track. Now, again, this is easier said than done, but it takes practice and it takes focus. And I think for women especially, one of the things that we are not so good at is saying, thank you, but no thank you. So the day ends up taking control from us instead of us controlling our day. And when we lose control of our day, we lose control of our emotions. We lose control of ourself. We lose control of our destiny. And so just like an athlete, they're rigid in their training. They get up, they eat a certain type of food, they go to the swimming pool at a certain time of day, they do a certain amount of training, and they are true to the goal that they have set, to the dream that they have of that gold medal. And friends, listening to this is what life is. There's so much freaking noise out there. You honestly, unless you have some sort of, I guess, priorities that you stick by, and that you say, I'm not going to let anybody interfere with these priorities that I've set, these intentions, and that those intentions will be around your health, your relationships, your money, your financial income, your business, I'm saying. In fact, anything, your love life with yourself and other people, every area of your life needs to have an intention set. Because if you don't control it, somebody else is going to, which is usually the media or the news or other people's agenda for you. I know I'm sounding like a school teacher here, but it's just the truth.
You know what, though? The thing that I love here with this is exactly what you're describing here is if you're going to be able to decide, okay, what do I control around me? Okay, I can't control that, you know, the whatever, that we can't travel, or, you know, the things that have got to do with the pandemic, you know, you can't control these things. So, and when you were saying, well, it's easier said than done. Well, this is actually a really practical tool that people will often underestimate. This whole simple thing of, okay, well, I'm going to take control of where my mind goes in the morning. I'm going to take control of those 3 things that are the top priorities, and I'm going to do them. And, you know, it's really interesting. I had a couple of years ago, I ended up sharing a hotel room with a stranger at a conference that I was going to. We are now like best friends. Absolutely gorgeous woman, Rachel. She's also, I've also interviewed her about, because one of the things in our conversation that we had was, you know, getting to know each other, you know, and I said, well, you know, tell me about your business, because we were at a business conference. And she said, well, you know, in the last 12 months, my revenue has doubled. And I just went, actually, no, it was close to tripled. So, whoa, tell me, like, what did you do? Like, as I get out my notebook ready to write down every single thing that she said. And she said, well, I have a sheet where it's exactly what you've described. What am I grateful for? And what are the top 3 things that I'm going to do today? And she said, the only thing that I did different at all was I used my discipline and that's exactly when you're talking about the sports. I used that discipline so that every single day I actually did that.
Yep.
I actually wrote down the 3 things the night before. I did those 3 things and stuck with them. I didn't let anything distract me from those 3 things. That's what almost tripled her business in 12 months.
It'll triple your life.
Difference.
It'll triple your life. You know, Cardone talks about 10xing your life. This is how he does it. He still does it every night. He writes down his goals for the next day. But I go a step further than that as well. I have what I call P1, P2, P3, priority 1, priority 2, priority 3. Now, this is for my business. I'm talking business here.
Yep.
I'll go back a step. When I wake up every morning, beside my bed, I've done it most of my life because that was how I was brought up. I have what I call my magic outfit. And my magic outfit is my running shorts, my running gear, my running outfit. So I have this thing, and it's from practice. Tony Robbins talks about it. It's just changing a habit. A habit can be formed as fast as you want if you are committed, right? Every morning, no question asked, before I do any computer work, before I do anything, I pull on that magic outfit, whether or not I feel like going to the gym. Because what happens, depending on the outfit that you're wearing, will determine the mindset or the state you feel in. I'll give you an example. If you are going to a really important party or a conference and you're dressed up to the nines, you've got a beautiful suit on or a beautiful gown and you've done your hair and your makeup, would you agree you feel more confident, shoulders back, holding your stomach in for as long as you can? You're feeling pretty good about yourself if you've taken the time. It's because of the outfit you're wearing. But if you went to the same party or important conference and nobody told you to wear a gown and you turned up in your tracksuit, you would feel a whole lot different, wouldn't you?
Yeah, yeah.
Your state would change instantly. You'd feel, oh my goodness, I feel so embarrassed. I feel ashamed. Your shoulders would go down. Your body would crumble. It is the same in life. And so by putting on my running outfit, I instantly go into training mode. And I go downstairs, I've got a home gym, but you might just want to go for a walk around the block, take the kids for a walk, take the dog for a walk, go for a hike in the mountains, whatever it is for you. It comes down to discipline. So I do that 7 days a week, even if I've had too few many bubbles the night before, Janet, which is often. I don't give myself an out. There's no excuses. This is what life is.
Right.
People say they want success, they want money, they want fame, they want a life by design, but these are the practical steps. This is the truth behind what you see sitting here or sitting there, or, you know, for whoever you perceive as successful. They do these little things that add up to big things. So health first before wealth.
Yep.
For me.
So true.
And anybody, you know, back in my days when I was a personal trainer, I had the privilege of training many very wealthy people. And they all would say to me, Amanda, I would give every dollar I have if I could have the health and vitality that you have or a younger person has. If only I didn't let my business and money be my driver, my health first. And so for me, the 3 priorities, as I was going into quickly, P1, 2, and 3, whatever's the most important priority apart from your health gets done first, then a big red tick. The second and then the third, big red tick, big red tick. And it's always around what's going to take me a step closer to the dream life that I want. Because nobody starts a business for anything but to have the life by design that they dream of.
Yeah.
That is their giving.
Yeah.
And I ask myself 10 times a day, Janet, is what I'm doing right now, what I'm thinking right now, taking me closer or further away from that life by design? And I'll get an instant answer, and then I just redirect, refocus, horse blinkers on, and there I go.
You know what? I reckon I'm just thinking of some really good action steps for people who are listening here. And I'm just going to do a bit of a double dare to everybody here that's listening, because honestly, I have seen when I have implemented what you're talking about, when I'm in perfect Janet mode, perfect Janet does the 3 things. She gets up every morning. She's already knows. She's already gone for her run or her swim or her kayak, whatever it is that I've chosen. That's what I do that day. You know, she is focused, on fire, energy is good. When I'm perfect, Janet, things happen for me, not just because I'm, not just from the work I'm doing. It sends like this whole energy of everything changes.
Yep.
When I, for whatever reason, slack off, and I haven't done that, I notice there are blockages everywhere. Like, I've watched it now and I think, oh, for heaven's sake, Janet, that's why you're not disciplined about doing this. And so this is going to be my double dare. So you let me know what ones I should be adding in here, Amanda. So the double dare is just that one question. Is what I'm doing now and thinking now actually going to drive me, get me to there, or is it moving me away? You said 10 times a day. I reckon if this is something that's going to be a new habit, I'd double dare you to set your alarm on your phone, because we all know that you probably
love it
a zillion times. I'm double daring you to set that alarm for a week, for 5 times a day, 10 times a day, whatever it is that you know is going to start you down that track. So that's going to do it. And I also double dare you to do what Amanda has said here. And at the end of each day, I want you to put those P1, P2, P3 that you've talked about for the next day. I want you to do that. And is there anything else that you think that I should be adding to this double dare to everybody?
Yeah, at the end of the day, take a moment and look over your intention list and what you've actually done, and take a moment to celebrate, because I don't want you to think that I'm sitting here saying, oh, I've got it all worked out, I'm all perfect, 10 out of 10, Amanda. No. I slip off the rails too. I have my moments where I'm not on priority, and I just have learned to love it, bless it, let it go, as one of my mentors says, but celebrate the wins, especially women. We are shockers for looking at what we haven't done.
Yeah.
Getting to say, good stuff, girlfriend, you did it. Thank you. And I'm so pleased with what you've done. Well, maybe you got to the second priority and the shit hit the fan. Something went wrong. The kids got sick and you had to run off and pick them up from school. That is not a time to beat yourself up because you didn't get the 3 intentions. You simply move the 3rd intention back to the next day and congratulate yourself that you did everything you could in that day to take yourself closer to that dream life that you want. That is what I'd add on. And I'll tell you what, it makes such a difference to your self-worth, because we spend too much time beating ourselves up, me included.
We do. And when you do have a success, so many of us just go, don't take that time to celebrate, and we start thinking about the next thing. Like you're so focused on the next to do, not taking that time. So what a difference it will make in your life if you consciously do that every day, not just wait until you've achieved one big thing that you think is worthy of you celebrating. If you actually look for those little things. I love that. Compounding interest,
where you put 10 cents away every day and then you add it on again, or a snowball effect where it starts off with a tiny little piece of ice, turns into a snowball. People don't feel that it's going to make an impact. But I promise you, give yourself 30, 60, 90 days and you won't know your life. I think the most important thing that I would say from this, if you want to stick to I love your idea, put the alarm on every 10 minutes. What am I thinking about? What am I doing right now? Your life, but especially your mental and your emotional health, will improve exponentially. And I think that is the most important key, especially in the time we're living in now, is the real focus. So many people are losing control or feeling like they're losing control of their emotions. But what we just spoke about will have an incredibly successful impact. I just know it in my heart because I do it every day.
Yeah. And you know what? I love that. Great closing of the loop though, girlfriend. Like we're back to, the chaos that we're at the moment, and that feeling as if you don't have control over what's happening. Yep. These are really, really practical steps to give you control over those things that you can and expand that control. So you're actually moving forward. So so I've made some double dares, but I'm not going to make you a double dare without me doing it too, and without also giving you some accountability. So I am committing here and now. So I've done this interview today on a Thursday. It will probably be about a week and a half before we go live, because it just so happens I haven't got a stockpile now. So this is exciting. I'm guaranteeing between now and when this goes live that I am going to do exactly what I have double dared everybody here to do. And when this goes live, I will come back and let you know what I learned through that process, and what changes could I feel and see happening. And so you guys are going to hold me accountable. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to go out to my mailing list, and I'm going to go out onto social media and share with you the results. Now, for you, I'm going to double dare you. This is how we're going to hold you accountable. Is Amanda, has given some amazing amount of time for us here today. So I am adding for this accountability. Go and stalk Amanda. So we'll find out in a tick where you can go to get her on email, and also where you can find her on social media. I double dare you to, when you get this recording, I want you to, for a whole week, do exactly what we said, and then come back and let Amanda know.
I would love that.
Back, because it is so rewarding, isn't it, Amanda? You've given such an amazing amount of your time here today, and your experience and your loving. Like, we can all feel it coming through. So
I love
that's your way to give back. That's one of the best ways to give back, is to show you that, you know, Amanda has an impact.
Yeah, hearing the comments and what happens, even in my own community, I get goosebumps, I get tears, because I want it for you. I want for you what I know you want for you. That's where I come from. And it is possible. You know, I come from nothing, no privileges, nothing. And I've got a long way to go yet, but I am on purpose. I live my life by design. And all I want for you is to have the same, but more importantly, control over your mind, control over your destiny. It's absolutely possible. So I would love to hear your comments. Any questions here for you? And the last thing I would say is that sometimes you don't feel that people believe in you, you don't feel seen, you don't feel heard, and I want you all to know that I believe in you, I see you, I hear you, and that it is absolutely possible. Just go for gold, gorgeous. And I can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So you've got a gift for people, and that's probably a good place for them to go and find you to start off with. And that way you'll be in Amanda's world. So can you tell us a little bit about your gift and how people can get that?
Absolutely. If you would love to get a free subscription of Millionaires Magazine, just head over to millionairesmagazine.com. And as my gift, you'll have access to my new book. I'll hold it up here. From Frustrated to Fabulous. It's an audio book, and it's an inspirational guide for women who dare to live their dreams. So it's got my success formula, wonderful life lessons, a lot more of what we kind of went through today with practical steps. And it's about a 7-hour audio. So I will let you know it is my voice narrating it. So you're going to, darlings, you are going to get to know me very well. But that comes with the 12-month subscription. So I would love to extend that gift. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Amanda. And everybody, go out there and get them, and just take these really simple, but they require discipline. Take these steps and come back and give us the results of the double dare that I've given you, and I will do the same with you. Okay, bye everybody, and thanks so much, Amanda.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, everyone. I look forward to hearing the results too. Catch you soon.